Your body is crying for help right now, and you don't even realize it. While you're watching this, billions of cells in your body are suffering from silent inflammation, your neurons are dying from lack of structural support, and your thyroid is literally shutting down, and the solution to reverse all of this costs less than $1. It's not an imported supplement. It's not an expensive treatment. It's something sitting in the nearest grocery store to your house, but 99% of people completely ignore it. 10 physiological mechanisms nobody tells you about this food and how it can restore metabolic functions you thought were lost forever. If you can, comment below what city you're watching from. I read every comment. The first reason has to do with your mitochondria. And no, I'm not talking about generic energy. I'm talking about real mitochondrial biogenesis. Sardines carry a unique combination of bioavailable CoQ10 and marine phospholipids that signal your cells to create new mitochondria. This isn't about temporary energy. It's about regenerating your body's ability to produce ATP efficiently for the rest of your life. When your mitochondria age, you age. Period. Sardines literally reverse mitochondrial senescence through a mechanism involving activation of the PGC1 alpha complex. This is cutting-edge science happening inside a metal can. Comment below where you're watching from and tell me, do you feel that constant fatigue that doesn't go away even after sleeping? That's mitochondrial dysfunction. Second reason, your thyroid is starving and you don't know it. Everyone talks about iodine, but nobody talks about organic selenium combined with bioavailable tyrosine. Sardines deliver the 3 cofactors the deiodinase enzyme needs to convert T4 into active T3. Without that, you can take synthetic hormone for your entire life, and it still won't solve the problem. The issue isn't production, it's conversion, and 80% of that conversion happens outside the thyroid, in your liver and intestines. Sardines provide the sulfur-containing amino acids that detoxify the liver and allow this conversion to happen. You don't have hypothyroidism. You have strategic malnutrition. Third reason, your brain is literally shrinking. Every single day without omega-3 in the form of marine DHA and EPA, your neuronal membranes lose fluidity. Neurons don't communicate properly when membranes become rigid. This doesn't just cause forgetfulness. It causes emotional dysregulation, chronic anxiety, and that mental fog you've normalized. Sardines deliver structural phospholipids that restore synaptic architecture. This isn't about better memory. It's about real neuroplasticity. It's about your brain regaining the ability to adapt, learn, and reorganize circuits. This is neurodegeneration reversal happening in real time. Comment below, do you struggle to focus even when there are no distractions? Fourth reason, and this one is brutal, insulin resistance. But not the way they explained it to you. Sardines carry bioactive peptides that literally unclog insulin receptors in your cells. When you eat carbohydrates and they don't enter the cell, the problem isn't the carbohydrate. The problem is that the door is jammed. These peptides act like molecular keys. They restore sensitivity without forcing you into extreme fasting or cutting out entire food groups. This is direct metabolic intervention. You're restoring your body's ability to use glucose as fuel instead of as a toxin. Fifth reason, silent inflammation. And I'm not talking about the generic concept. I'm talking about the NF-kappa B pathway, which is the master switch of chronic inflammation. When this pathway stays constantly activated, you develop metabolic resistance, immune dysfunction, and accelerated aging. Sardines carry anti-inflammatory compounds that shut off this switch through an epigenetic mechanism. This isn't about reducing symptoms. It's about deactivating inflammation at the root, inside the cell nucleus. You're reprogramming your body's gene expression. This is precision medicine in the form of food. Comment where you're from and whether you get random joint pain out of nowhere. Sixth reason, and here's something absurd nobody talks about. Whole sardines with the bones are the most bioavailable source of vitamin K2 that exists. And K2 is not about blood clotting. It's about directing calcium where it belongs. When you're deficient in K2, calcium leaves your bones and goes into your arteries. You develop osteoporosis and vascular calcification at the same time. Sardines reverse this process. They remove calcium from arterial walls and put it back into bones through osteocalcin activation. This is simultaneous reversal of cardiovascular and skeletal aging. Seventh reason, your gut is dysbiotic and it's destroying your serotonin. 90% of your body's serotonin is produced in the gut, but only when you have the right bacterial strains. Sardines provide specific prebiotic peptides that feed butyrate-producing bacteria. Butyrate is the fuel for intestinal cells. Without it, you develop intestinal permeability, dysbiosis, and the entire inflammatory cascade that comes with it. Sardines are not probiotics. They are substrate for the right bacteria to dominate your internal ecosystem. You're restoring the gut-brain axis by feeding the right colonies. Eighth reason, silent muscle loss. After age 30, you lose 3% to 8% of lean mass per decade if you do nothing. Sardines are one of the few foods that activate the mTOR pathway in a balanced way, activated enough for protein synthesis, but without causing metabolic stress. They deliver leucine, methionine, and lysine in the exact ratios needed to signal muscle growth without overloading aging pathways. You're preserving body structure while maintaining functional autophagy. This is intelligent anabolism. Comment below if you've noticed losing muscle definition even without changing your routine. Ninth reason, your HPA axis is dysregulated. Hypothalamus pituitary adrenal. It's the system that controls stress. When it's broken, you wake up tired, experience anxiety spikes in the afternoon, and have high cortisol at night. Sardines provide organic magnesium and taurine that modulate cortisol release. They don't block it. They regulate it. Your body starts responding to stress in an adaptive way instead of a destructive one. This is restoration of metabolic resilience. You stop burning your own body as a response to normal stressors. 10th and final reason, real longevity. Sardines activate genes from the sirtuin family, especially SIRT1 and SIRT3. These proteins regulate DNA repair, autophagy, and resistance to oxidative stress. This isn't about living more sick years. It's about compressing morbidity. It's about maintaining optimal cellular function until the very end of life. Sardines provide molecular signals your body interprets as strategic scarcity. They activate ancestral survival mechanisms without requiring starvation. This is calorie restriction mimicking through nutrient-dense nutrition. Now comment below, which of these 10 reasons surprised you the most? And do you already eat sardines regularly, or are you going to start after this video? Write the city you're watching from and whether you've experienced any of the symptoms I described.